8:35 here, Big 550 KTRS. We always check in with Kat Neville from Feast Magazine. She is sponsored every week by Twisted Tree Steakhouse. It's the newest offering from Syberg's family at Watson and Lindbergh in Sunset Hills. Our friend Jimmy Cristo is running the world over there. 314-394-3363, 314-394-3366, or you can always visit them on the website at twistedtreesteakhouse.com. Good morning, Kat Neville.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. I haven't been here for a couple weeks.
Yes, you've been small-timing us, but you are star of stage and screen.
I've been running around shooting the show.
We will get to the newest edition of Feast Magazine, and I can't wait to read this article on fly fishing.
Yeah, that is John Perkins, who's over at Juniper. He grew up, his father was a preacher, and so he grew up moving around and spent a number of years in southern Missouri and learned how to fly fish. He doesn't do a lot of it these days, but...
Sounds like a river runs through it.
Yes.
Did you ever see that movie?
I did.
I did. It was a great bunch of short stories. A great story about Norman McLean, who wrote these short stories. Never got published until years later. He was a Yale professor, and somebody found him in a drawer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. And somebody said, you should have these published. And it was one of these, how much do you think it will cost? And he said, I bet you $50,000. And Norman McLean said, I don't have $50,000. And they said, no, they'll pay you $50,000. And one of those stories was a river runs through it, and that's what they made the movie out of.
You never know what you're going to find in a drawer.
How about that?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Fly fishing is very, very fun. I can't wait to read it. All right.
And with Missouri rivers, I mean, think about our cold, clear, spring-fed rivers and streams. There's tons of beautiful fish out there.
And there is nothing better than a rainbow trout on an open campfire on the side of a river.
Oh, now you're talking.
Yeah. All right, what do you got for us?
All right, I have two new spots. One is in St.Charles.
Right.
It is the Firebirds wood-fired grill, and this is it is a corporate concept, a chain restaurant, and I think this is the 40th location. It's a pretty big restaurant, over 6,000 square feet, and seats like 240 people. They focus on cooking with open flame, and very American style food. They have a real focus also on the bar, so a really great wine list, beer list, and tons of cocktails. In fact, they have a signature martini where they house infuse vodka with pineapple, and a big vat of it kind of sits right there on the bar.
When you say house infuse, what does that mean?
So you can infuse your own spirits. For example, vanilla extract.
Right.
All vanilla extracts have alcohol, grain alcohol as the base, because that's what alcohol does, is it extracts, essential oils and flavors.
Gotcha.
And so if you put spices or fruit or something into vodka or gin or rum or whatever, you can infuse that spirit. So you're actually holding a printout, so you can see there where there is all of this pineapple that's stacked in a vat, and then you pour a bunch of great quality vodka on top, and then you have vodka infused with pineapple.
How about that? Learn something new every day. We're learning. We're teaching we're teaching each other here.
Well, there's actually, in the latest issue of Feast, there's a whole article about infusing spirits with spices at home.
Good. All right. Where is Firebirds?
It is in St. Charles on Beale Street. It's 1501 Beale Street. And they butcher and cook everything in-house. It is a scratch kitchen. And they do things like baby back ribs, pecan-encrusted trout. They do a Wagyu, which is an American Kobe-style beef. And they make that into meatloaf with a portobello mushroom sauce and Parmesan cheese, mashed potatoes, some green beans. So very approachable American fare, but because they're using that wood fire, it has just that wonderful kind of smoky char to it.
Yeah, no, there's something to be said for cooking on an open fire.
I love it.
All right, Firebirds Wood Fire Grill, now open in St. Charles. What else you got?
Sweet Things in Kirkwood. So Comet Coffee has been really one of the best coffee houses in the city of St. Louis. And so they have a new outpost in Kirkwood, and the address is 640 West Woodbine Avenue. And so they're very well known. Stephanie Fisher is the pastry chef, and she's very well known for her croissants. And she was making something like 800 of them a day at their tiny location. So this new location in Kirkwood is serving as their commissary. And during the morning, they are, it's only 980 square feet. And so during the morning, 5 mornings a week, they do coffee, beverages, and baked goods like bear claws, the croissants, things like that. And then in the evening, 4 nights a week, they serve ice cream. So they're doing all of these house-made ice creams at night.
And what's the name of this place?
It's called Comet Croissanterie and Creamery.
Okay. I have always had a phobia of ordering a croissant.
A phobia?
Well, yes.
Why?
Well, because I don't know how to say the word exactly.
You just did.
I know.
You want to say it like the French, like croissant?
Well, yes. So I can't say croissant.
Just point at it.
I know, because then you're like, oh, who's this joker? But
I know what you're about to say.
But then you feel like, I like a croissant or croissant. Or, I mean, then you sound
just
like
say croissant. That's okay. This is
so-
St. Louis where we say shoto.
I know.
And Greshit.
I understand that, but I've always been a little hesitant, a little
Don't
apprehensive.
be hesitant because you
about
are
ordering.
missing out on delicious things.
It's very, very good. I only eat it when it's at a buffet, and I can take it off the buffet
McGraw,
table.
get over your fear of saying croissant.
Okay, so I can just say croissant. I don't have to
Yeah.
say croissant.
No.
All right.
In fact, somebody would probably think that you were pretentious.
Well,
if
that's
you
exactly
said
my
it.
point. I didn't know which way to say it. So that's why I never ordered it.
Oh, my gosh.
So
Okay.
So Comet Croissanterie.
Oh, goodness. Yes. And so in the evening, I mentioned that they have these ice creams. So they have something called a wafflegato. And that is ice cream with a shot of espresso in a waffle cup that is served with a Luxardo cherry. They also have a cone-oli, not a cannoli. Cone-oli.
You have to be careful saying that.
I know. It's another kind of hybrid where they take a cannoli-shaped waffle cone shell and they stuff it with mascarpone cheese, mini chocolate chips, and pistachios.
Okay.
Hello, deliciousness.
Yes.
And they're just playing around with different stuff, but they're using really high quality ingredients, and they always have 8 different ice cream flavors, at least 1 sorbet, and 1 that is a lactose-free ice cream that is made with coconut milk.
All right.
And so they're doing just a lot of really fun stuff.
That's Comet Croissanterie and Creamery.
Yes.
Don't be so. If I can butcher it, you can butcher it.
Everyone can butcher it. Just get one.
Just get one.
Get you some.
Comet Croissanterie and
Yeah.
Creamery in Kirkwood.
Yeah.
And then we've got Firebirds Wood Grill in St. Charles. All
Yes.
right. So look at this. Johnny Londoff's going to love you for this. The cover of Feast magazine.
So Steve Holmes is a friend of mine, and he's also a very good friend of the restaurant industry, and he is a member of a duck club in St. Charles County. And so this is our great outdoors issue, and we're celebrating fly fishing. I mean, hunting is a huge
Yes.
part of the culture here in Missouri, all across the state.
Yes.
And we happen to be in what is called the Mississippi Flyway, and so this is one of the best places for duck hunting specifically in the country. And what's really interesting in our conversation with Steve is that we talk about how the hunters are working hand in hand with the Missouri Department of Conservation
Yes.
to help preserve our wetlands and to bring the populations of these animals back, because without a healthy population of the animals, you can't enjoy the sport of hunting. And when you talk about eating close to the land and foraging, and it really is something where the better that we are stewards of the land, the better the populations of these animals will be, and then we can just kind of live more in harmony with the natural world.
I have often said and gotten criticized for that. Hunters are probably the most environmentally friendly people you'll ever meet.
I mean, I think if people are criticizing you, then they don't necessarily understand the culture of
Right,
hunting.
right.
And I think that it's very difficult. I mean, let's be honest. It's very difficult for some people to get past the idea that you're killing an animal. But unless you're a vegetarian and you refuse to participate in that, I mean, anytime you go to the grocery store or anytime you order meat at a restaurant,
Right.
you are complicit in the killing
Right, right,
of animals.
right.
So I think it's very important that if you are going to consume meat at any point, that you understand what that means. And if you're not comfortable yourself, being a hunter, and I've never hunted. I've been on hunting expeditions,
Right.
but I personally have never done it myself. But I very much respect the way that people like Steve and others of his ilk, the way that they approach
Right.
the sport of hunting. It is with the utmost respect for the animal.
I've been fishing. I've been pheasant hunting.
Mm-hmm.
I've been quail hunting.
Yep.
But it doesn't really appeal to me.
Turkey hunting is really big in Missouri, too.
Yeah, I've never done turkey hunting. I don't really want to sit in a duck blind for 6 days next to Johnny Londoff. He's a nice enough guy, but I don't necessarily want to do it. But the food they bring back.
Well,
I'll cook the food all day long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And deer hunting obviously is very big in Missouri too.
Right.
And we're right at the beginning of a big part of the hunting season. So
Right.
yes, the great outdoors. Plus we have our year in beer, and we have a profile of a young artisan in Sedalia, Missouri, who is hand forging knives.
Oh.
Chef's knives and hunting knives. You will totally nerd out on this because he uses reclaimed wood and
Yes.
also reclaimed and recycled steel. It's very cool. Also, I just want to mention this weekend is the Emmys, and so
And you're
next
up
week
for
I might
17 Emmys?
No.
You're going to bring back your closet full of Emmys?
We're nominated in 3 categories, and so hopefully next week I will have some good news for you. We'll see. So I'm just
best
excited.
magazine, best TV show, best publisher. What else you got? Best
I got
radio,
nothing.
best radio segment in the history of mankind. Feast Magazine. Pick it up at a newsstand near you. Also, you can subscribe to it and get it sent right to your house.
That's right.
Feastmagazine.com. Where is Juniper Grill? Where is that?
It's in the Central West End on West Pine.
Yes.
I'm testing my memory, but it's great. It's all Southern food. If you're into Southern food, that is the place to go. His fried chicken, the recipes in the issue, he tells you how to make biscuits and gravy on a campfire, along with also some cornmeal fried trout. And I love some cornmeal fried fish. And fried catfish is one of my favorite things. Whenever I go to the Missouri Hick Barbecue Restaurant in Steelville, I get the fried catfish. It's the best.
So on my 25th birthday, I was at the San Juan River in New Mexico, and I caught a rainbow trout with a fly that I tied myself.
Oh, wow.
How about that?
How'd you cook it?
Cornmeal.
Oh,
I
so
didn't cook
good.
it. My buddy cooked it, and I just ate it.
He just like dusted it in cornmeal and pan fried it.
Right, yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, it was
So
really,
good.
it was really. I have a picture of me, 25 years old, holding a little rainbow trout on the river.
I love it.
Yeah, it was really a lot of fun. Cappy, good.
Thank you.
8:47 here, Big 550, KT.